Welcome to Sports Close-Up. Mike Fiorillo, Jim Berger. Brand new set, Jim.
This is pretty fancy, I must say. I'm glad I went to makeup this morning, too, because they have the new HD setup.
So how you been? We haven't been together for a while.
We haven't. I'm doing well. How about yourself? How's the golf game?
Good. Golf game is getting better.
Good.
How's things up at the Hill? By the way, folks, we're just going to talk about sports, local and national, on this show today.
Yeah, no one wanted to come talk to us.
No one wanted to come talk to us today, but we have a lot of good shows coming up. We have a hockey show with Jamie Plunkett and the seniors.
Yes, the Bulldog seniors. Bulldog hockey had a big season. They won the PIHL championship.
We have the Piro family. We'll be interviewing the Piros coming down the road. And that should be an exciting show.
It will be an exciting spring look for Armstrong Sports Close-Up, for sure.
And by the way, folks, if you like volleyball, Armstrong will be taping the D10 final. The boys' D10 final. We'll be playing it after that, so check your local listings for that. That's always exciting. How about Armstrong as far as high school sports? They do it all. Football, basketball, wrestling, soccer, lacrosse, volleyball, boys and girls. So whatever you like, it's there.
And I was talking to a parent of a Cochranton baseball player, and he said he couldn't believe how cool it was that he can go home on YouTube, watch the game, and he can watch it whenever he wants. So his kids in 10 years from now can be like, hey, I used to play baseball. You want to watch? He can pull up the game on YouTube.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Corey and Kevin Tappan, they do a great job bringing all local high school sports. They really do. And, it was funny seeing Jeff and Kevin. Luke and I did the baseball game you brought up, and after about the third inning, it started to rain on all of us. And we were sitting there in the rain with little umbrellas. But, and then obviously the game had to go to extra innings because it was raining.
Because it was raining and cold. That's how it works.
We give those young kids a lot of kudos for playing such a good game in bad adverse conditions. They did well.
Mental toughness, that's a big part of the game, especially, in northwestern Pennsylvania. It's not exactly always going to be like Arizona. So the weather's just one of the obstacles. But, yeah, well, as you said, Armstrong's high school sports. Wow. I mean, it's such a wide-ranging too. Every sport, you mentioned everything. It, and and you do a tremendous job with the coverage as well.
It's easy enough because Kevin and Jeff are the ones that really put the whole program together, and they do a superb job. Let's talk about, since we've been together, talk about how the spring sports did up at the Hill in Allegheny.
Allegheny, things are starting to wrap up. Baseball did not make it to the conference tournament. They got knocked out in the crossover series against a very good Denison team. But they finished 23-17, fifth straight winning season, fifth straight 20-win season. Had a number of big wins. A couple weeks ago, next to the last week of the regular season, they defeated Mount Union, who was ranked nationally, and it was the 200th win in the career of head coach Kelly Swinney. Only needed 9 years to do so, so that was a highlight for the baseball team. Struggled with some injuries, struggled with some inconsistency, but 23-17 in one of the best conferences in Division III. I think it's a pretty successful year.
He's done a good job putting a nice baseball program together, though.
He really has, quietly too. It's everyone. Baseball has always been one of the historically strong sports in Allegheny. I know most people around Crawford County understand that, and the program hasn't missed a beat. He's gotten it a lot better. It's continued to improve over his tenure. But yeah, the conference is just really loaded. Yes. 3 teams in the top 25 this year. The Gators were regionally ranked actually, so I think that they rank 10 teams in the region, and they take 8 teams to regionals and an NCAA. So, if they would have won the last series to go to the conference tournament, you never know. But a lot of good performances. Robert DiMaggio, who we had on the show last year, was one of the leaders in the outfield, hit over 330. They had a lot of bats. They opened the season. They were one of the top offensive teams in Division III. During spring break, I think they averaged something like 15 runs a game. Wow. But things kind of even out when you get up north. The pitching improved. But all in all, it was a good year. Lost a good group of seniors. Should have some talent coming back. So I think they're not happy with the season, but I don't think they're too upset with it.
And they've probably been out recruiting too, so some good kids coming in, I'm sure.
Right. And again, that's also tough because you try to match up your schedules and practices and games with the weather, with the high school schedules to go see a game or two. But yeah, they're always on the road, always on the phone.
You were saying off camera the girls softball team ended very strong.
They did. They took 4 of the last 6 games, highlighted by a no-hitter against Kenyon in a 1-0 game.
Who was the no-hitter?
It was by Kayla Mahan, a sophomore from Lakeview High School, so just south of us. That was actually a doubleheader sweep. They beat Kenyon twice, 1-0, 1-0. The first game was the no-hitter. The second game they won in extra innings on a walk-off single from Megan Hazlett from West Middlesex, Pennsylvania, also just south of here. But they have a pretty good nucleus coming back as well. I think they're happy with how they ended things. Not exactly. The middle of the season was kind of a lull for them, but I think how they ended the season gives them something to build upon.
And you track and field, you just did a show a couple of the track people who did very well.
We did. Carter Smith and Amanda Balzer, who were both with us a couple weeks ago, right here on Armstrong. Amanda Balzer won the conference championship in the 100-meter hurdles, and Carter Smith won the conference championship in the 1500. So, as a team, the Allegheny men finished 4th out of 9, and the women finished 3rd out of 8. And we're going to prep for the Gator Invite now. It's a big one that will happen the weekend of the 11th and 12th. The show will already be aired by then, but yeah, we're looking forward to that. It was a good year for track. Also, some very good performances from a lot of the younger people. Freshman Zach Casagrande won the men's javelin title. A freshman Tori Valakovic won the 400-meter hurdles. So they have a good bit coming back next year as well.
So an outstanding year for the new coach.
It was Justin Lindsay, yes, both in the indoor season and the outdoor season. Coach Lindsay, when they started with the cross country championship in the fall, so that was one of the banner programs that we've had this year for sure. And again, recruiting. Never know what's going to happen in the future, but I know that he's been hitting the trails hard, and they have a lot of newcomers or a lot of returners coming back next year.
It's interesting too, watching your show and you interviewing the kids, and when they talked about their new coach, it looks like he's bringing a different kind of perspective to the program.
He's very energetic. He's all over the place, bouncing around at practice. He'll be hanging out with the throws guys at one point, then he'll go over to the sprinters, and he'll talk to the distance guys. So he really wants to be hands-on, it seems, and he's a very high-energy guy. It was funny, we were watching the track championships, the conference championships from the webcast, and you see him running down the track alongside his runners as they're running their race, screaming, "Come on, let's go, let's go," cheering them on. So, yeah, you can see that they build off of that energy.
And then girls lacrosse.
Women's lacrosse, they were picked to finish 6th in the conference. They finished 3rd in regular season.
Nice.
Lost in the NCAC semifinals, but it was a pretty good year. Shelby Piper, she was the leading scorer for the Gators, was first team all-conference. Jesse Thiessen, who was actually an all-region soccer player, was named the NCAC lacrosse player of the year. So they exceeded some expectations. They lost a huge senior class from last year into this year. So I think, they finished 10-6. I believe that Coach Hughes probably will view that as a success as well. They lost to a very good Oberlin team in the playoffs. It was 16-1 coming in. So, yeah, they had a good year. They're going to lose a bunch of seniors, but I know she's recruiting hard as well. But it's been a pretty good spring so far.
Let's talk about some of the local talent that went on to college and give them a shout out in different places. Why don't you start with baseball?
Penn State Baron, Scott Seda, having a tremendous year, sophomore I believe, was recently placed on the COSIDA Academic All-District team. 3.8 GPA, he's majoring in engineering I believe, and he's having a tremendous year as an infielder, doing some relief pitching for the Lions. Barron, a very good program as always in the Allegheny Mountain Conference. Has the bloodlines. We know how successful his brother was. And his dad. Yeah, they put Sagertown baseball on the map.
Yep.
So congratulations to Mr. Seda. He's now on the ballot for Academic All-America, which is a very hard list to crack. Essentially, you're on the ballot. The way it works, SIDs at the colleges nominate who they think. Minimum requirements are a 3.35 GPA and a solid, a very good athletic season. So that gets whittled down to the districts, and now we are going to, he'll be on the All-American ballot against kids from all over the country.
No doubt about it. And then we have a Maplewood graduate, Becca Worley, chipped in 3rd place in the 3,000-meter steeplechase, Jim.
That's the most
helping Penn
painful.
State Barron women's, by the way, track and field, take the title in the athletic state conference championship. So Becca Worley, great job. But the steeplechase?
That's the most painful event in track and field. I could not imagine what they go through with the hurdles and the water and the almost 2-mile distance. Yeah, kudos to her. That's one thing. I don't like to run to begin with, but I couldn't imagine doing something like that.
And then we have a Meadville graduate, Jordan Lynn, who grabbed several points for West Virginia Wesleyan, and she helped them too in the championship meet, which wrapped up last week. So she's doing really well there. And then a couple other graduates, Meadville grad Sternby nets gold at the PSAC title meet, and that is Heather Sternby, who's a junior nursing student at IUP. Won the 400-meter title at the PSAC Conference Outdoor Championship, hosted at Bloomsburg this past weekend, so she's done very well there.
And that's a tremendous conference as well. The PSAC is,
biggest
regarded
D2
as
conference in the country.
Yeah, and I would say the most talented as well. So that's a very good feat, and only a sophomore, I believe. So congratulations,
Now, why
Miss
don't you
Sternby.
tell us about this young lady? Because remember, we did a game when she played for the Sagertown Panthers.
We did. Speaking of Sagertown, Rachel DeBartolomeo of Mercyhurst. She was named All PSAC on the softball team.
That's why I gave it out, because her last name.
I appreciate that. She led the Lakers with 11 home runs. She had a .682 slugging percentage, 5 triples, 24 stolen bases, .344 batting average. The second time in as many seasons that she earned All PSAC. Again, another very successful program. Historically, she part of that very long line of success at Sagertown High School. So congratulations, Miss DeBartolomeo.
And we like to see local kids go on. And in Meadville, we had some other kids sign recently. We had Brody Gump, who just signed to go to Hiram to play lacrosse. Meadville does have a boys lacrosse team who is getting better every year. We just did a game the other night. It's in their 6th year of its existence. And you can see they have a JV team, they have a middle school team, and they also have 6th graders now getting involved.
That's how you build a program.
That's how you build a program. Yep. So they've gotten better all the time. We wish them well. And then 3 of our local basketball players. Let's start first with Amani Foster, who broke the record, became the leading scorer of Meadville history, broke Michael Burnett's record. It's funny, Michael Burnett called them.
Really? That's awesome.
And he said to him, "It's about time," because I had to break it long enough. So that was thrilling for Monty. He had to get a call from Michael. So that was nice of Michael Burnett to do that. But Monty signed to go to IUP to play basketball.
Tremendous program.
He was recruited heavily near the end by Akron, but he chose IUP. And one of the reasons he told me, their first assistant is a Pitt grad who played at Pitt, and he really, Monty really hit it off with him.
Okay.
Then he had Sim Wolford, who got signed by Slippery Rock. So he'll be extending his career, which is kind of cool because Amani and Sim, as they get older, will be facing each other.
They'll be playing each other. That's the rivalry, yeah.
That'll be the rivalry. And then Jack Stevens also signed. He's going to Worcester to play basketball. So Jack will be playing up here at Allegheny.
Tremendous, another top 10 program. Yeah. So, that's very impressive for the Bulldogs. I haven't seen you, I don't think, since the big state championship run.
It was a great ride. It was a lot of fun. Miles O'Shea just put together a highlight film, which I did some voice for the other day, and keep track of that because Meadville's going to show it at the high school one of the nights in the next week or two. They're going to have the cheerleaders sell popcorn, and it's going to be open to the public. So it should be an exciting thing, and he's going to give me a copy, which I'll give to Jeff and Kevin, and maybe they could get it on locally here too on Armstrong, or at least on YouTube.
And knowing the following that the Bulldogs had all year, I bet that'll be a heck of an event at the House of Thrills when they do premiere the video.
It was a great ride, and again, thanking Armstrong, Jeff, especially for going to all the games and getting a chance to put them on. And we did the game of Slippery Rock live, which was a thrilling.
That's awesome.
Which was really thrilling. So it was a great year for Meadville basketball and the community also. So that was a great thing. And now we're going to spring sports, and the Meadville girls track team just captured the region title. They've had an outstanding year.
I saw that, and Mr. Journey Brown, I've heard of him. I forget. He's made a name for himself somehow this year.
Somehow we know him.
But isn't he? I've heard that he is the second-ranked 100-meter sprinter in the country, 10.6 seconds. So.
Journey Brown is the most heralded athlete in the history of Meadville High School. And before we go any further on Journey, I'm going to take it back and congratulate James Connor of McDowell.
Yes.
3rd-round pick of the Steelers. This young man overcame cancer while at Pitt.
Yep.
What a great thing that was. When I saw Pitt pick him, Steelers, I thought, what a great match.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be immediately. He's going to be the fan favorite. And not only did he overcome cancer, which is huge, but while he was overcoming cancer, he had a torn ACL as well. So that's how they discovered the cancer, I believe. But, you know, that's a tremendous story. You know, I saw he wasn't really the most heralded guy coming out of Erie to go to Pitt. They wanted to use him as a D lineman here and there and special teams as a freshman. Then all of a sudden he got all ACC Player of the Year honors as a sophomore.
He was the leading rusher that year, I think, in the ACC. Right?
Yeah, now he's the third-round draft pick for the Steelers, a team I know that he grew up watching. So,
and he's going to play because Tomlin, I think they had cut Langell Williams, didn't they? Did they let him?
I believe they did, yeah,
and
recently.
They asked Tomlin, they said, why Connor? And he said, he's a Steeler runner. He runs north and south. That's how we run the ball here.
And if you pick a guy in the third round, you know, you're going to give him a pretty good look. He's going to get his chances. So, yeah, congratulations to Mr. Connor, and congratulations to the Steelers.
That's funny. I went on the Steeler website because I was so excited for James Conner, and I saw the little video of Tomlin calling him. I don't know if you saw that. Tomlin calls him up and says, James, Coach Tomlin, and you don't hear his response. And he goes, we need you up here in 2 days. We have the playbook for you. You can drive yourself up here. We're not paying you mileage. And I don't know what he said, but also Tom was laughing. He goes, we're just kidding, James. We're just kidding. So I thought that was pretty cool because Tomlin has that dry sense of humor. But he spoke to the press about him, and they're really high on James Conner. They think he's going to be the back that they've been looking for because they said, which I didn't realize, maybe you did, Jim, they said he finishes his runs. He runs over people.
Oh, yeah, he's a bruiser, definitely. I think it might be some of that defense mentality that he had because he was a pretty big, you know, D lineman. But no, he is a power runner, you know. Jerome Bettis, that's very reminiscent of that.
I think they like when they're inside red zone. They like to go straight up.
And I think that's something they need, too. You know, because we've seen in the past, last year they had their goal line troubles where they'd go to throw 4 times in a row. You have no idea why. I think if they have someone like Connor, that's a great weapon to have. Third down back, you know, short situations. So,
now, what'd you think? Let's stay on the topic. What'd you think of the draft? What'd you think of the Steeler picks?
I was pleasantly surprised with T.J. Watt in the first round.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, that's a very good pick.
Talk about a Steeler linebacker that plays with emotion. He's the prototype right there.
I think that they're going to groom him to replace Harrison, and I think that's a tremendous move. You know, he's got the bloodlines. Very similar story to his brother, very unheralded coming out of college. Didn't play. He started playing defense, I believe, a year and a half ago for a very good Wisconsin team.
Very good Wisconsin program.
So I think that he will be a difference maker, and it was I was happy to see that pick, and it's setting up a pretty cool matchup on Christmas. The Steelers play the Texans, so it will be Mr. Watt versus Mr. Watt. That'll be a fun.
You know, it's interesting too. As Christmas is on a Sunday, you're gonna have NFL football on Christmas.
Full NFL, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's really wild this year.
Hopefully, my aunt lets me watch it when we're at their house for our annual gathering. She was against it last year. We were able to talk her into putting the Steelers game on, but.
We'll be in Florida, and my son-in-law and my daughter will have all sports on all day, so that won't be a problem for us. Talking about the Steelers, though, were you disappointed they didn't draft a quarterback high?
Yeah, I mean, Dobbs is an intriguing player, but if
Coach Fietner, by the way, Meadville grad's very high on Dobbs. He's had him in, and he said he was actually the only quarterback they brought in was Dobbs, besides the kid from Clemson.
Yeah,
him in too.
But I mean, he's an intriguing guy. Is he going to be good enough to be the backup? Because
they're going to give him a shot.
Because typically, you know, like I said, with the high pedigree, high round draft picks, you want to top like the Aaron Rodgers situation in Green Bay. That's kind of what I think Steelers fans are envisioning right now is what they need with Roethlisberger. Get a top-notch quarterback, draft them high, ride it out while Ben's still there.
Well, let me give you this little tidbit, though. There are some experts, and I got to use the word experts loosely because we know how they make decisions, that think the Steelers pick is better than what the Bears did and when they traded up to get their quarterback.
They
said the kid from North Carolina, I can't remember his name right now, quarterback, is they don't know if he's going to make it as a number 1 pick. And I think the Steelers were smart not going up to get him. Young man from Clemson, though, everybody feels he's going to be a quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at their track record. Yeah. They've had an incredible run with him.
Right.
And you know, it's a fickle business. You never know. Tom Brady was, what, a 6th-round draft pick? But
6th-round pick.
And how many high draft picks flame out? Speaking of the Bears, they made an interesting choice in the 2nd round. So many guys are still available, you know, in the 2nd round. I think they had the 41st pick.
Right.
They went with the tight end, a Division II tight end from Ashland. So that was pretty interesting, I think, that they...
There's the quarterback that we were saying the Bears drafted, Mitch Trubisky.
Yes, Trubisky,
Yeah.
who had some issues on social media,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
And a lot of people think the Bears putting their future on him, and they went through Cutler, who just left and now in broadcasting, and Tony Romo got the #1 gig with. That's surprising.
That was.
He bumped Phil Simms out of it.
I know. I mean,
Wow.
I know Phil Simms gets made fun of a lot, but I think that's a big move. Romo's going to. I mean, even Aikman didn't start off on the A team when he came.
Exactly. So that's interesting. I hopefully wish Tony Romo all the luck. I like Tony Romo. I always felt he got a bad break in Dallas as far as they said he wasn't a winner. Look at his record.
Yeah, his injuries you can't, and they're freak injuries too.
Exactly.
It's not, he was a good quarterback.
He was. They're still mad at him for dropping that extra point in Seattle.
I remember that. I can still see that now.
So, the NBA will just about be wrapping up. Well, no, it'll still be going on, but the Cavaliers are having no problem right now.
No, the Cavs, they're rolling through pretty much anyone and everyone they see.
He's the best.
Yeah.
King James is the best player in the NBA, period. I'm tired of people telling me he's not that good, he's overranked. Give me a break. Every place he's been, he's won. He went to Cleveland the first time, he almost
took
won.
Him to the finals,
He didn't have much. Went to Miami, won championships. Back with Cleveland, won last year. They'll be in the finals this year. I'm not saying they're going to win the finals again, but they're going to be there. They're going to win the East.
And it's not like his supporting cast is a slouch either. He's got the talent around him, Irving. And
being a Knicks fan, I'll take LeBron any day, okay? Because the Knicks are in a mess.
They are.
What a mess that is in New York. Oh, my God.
And it seems like Phil Jackson, I mean, what does he want to do? Does he want to take control? Does he want to sit back and watch it? Does he want to, handpick his players? Is he a puppet master? That's what I don't understand.
I don't either, and I think they need new ownership to clean that whole thing out.
Yeah.
Get rid of Phil, get new owners come in and start from scratch and bring some people. I tell you who I give credit to, the Celtics. I really like their young coach.
Brad Stevens, he's tremendous. Ever since he was a Butler. Fun fact.
Yes.
He is a North Coast Athletic Conference product. He played at DePauw University.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. But ever since I know that was a pretty criticized move when they picked him up too. Who's this guy, mid-major college? And now all of a sudden, look at that turnaround they've done in a year and a half. The Celtics are very viable contenders. Didn't look so good in their last game, but just to get where they're at now after a couple down years with Coach Stevens.
So right now, is it going to be, you think, the Cavs against...
Probably the Warriors. I think so, yeah.
And the Warriors look tough to beat.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Spurs a lot, but
the age is catching up.
Exactly. Yeah. Popovich is incredible.
He's crazy.
But like you said...
I love his press conferences.
No regard.
None, he don't care.
We should try to get him on this one with us.
He is so much fun.
But, they had that core together for so long, but no, I just think, kind of like in the East with the Cavs, I think the Warriors are...
Yeah. I do too. I think the Warriors should win it all, but the Cavs win it, I wouldn't be surprised with LeBron on that team.
Yep.
MLB surprises right now. The surprise team in baseball is my Yankees, who are even surprising me.
Yeah, you didn't have very high hopes for them when we did our baseball show.
No, I thought they were at least a year away.
Yep.
But Aaron Judd is doing remarkable things. They are 21-9 as we tape.
Yep.
And after 30 games in 203, they were 23-7, and they have a pitcher, Jeter, on that team, and Aaron Judd on this one. And they say here, that's the year the Yankees went to the World Series, is 2003. They didn't win that World Series, by the way, but they got there. But
is that the Marlins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aaron Judd is being compared to Jeter in the respect that they said all his interviews, or he gives credit to all his teammates and deflects any credit to himself. And they said, Jeter-esque, that's how Jeter was when he first came to the Yankees.
That's why he's the captain,
And this show will be aired by the time this happens, but actually the first day it's aired, Sunday, is Jeter Day. They're retiring his jersey this Sunday, his number. We retire, so the Yankees will have no more one single digits left.
I was going to say, I don't have many numbers left for that.
That's it. So it should be a big day in Yankee Stadium, and I think Jeter and Jeb Bush are in the process of buying the Marlins.
And I heard that they courted A-Rod as well to join the ownership team, but he refused. But
Which is probably a good move.
Yeah, but that's an interesting situation down there. They have that stadium. Some called a monstrosity.
They got one of the best players in the game, is Stanton.
Yelich is very good.
Yes, he is.
But you would think that it would be an attractive product, but you never know. Like their owner was at Loria. He's really run them into the ground.
He has.
And it'd be interesting to see what kind of new blood Jeter brings in there. He's got the baseball smarts. That would make him pretty unique, I think, in Major League Baseball. You don't have many owners who have actually had playing experience. So
it's intriguing about that, too. If they buy the team, and this is the last year of Joe Girardi's contract, and Girardi coached the Marlins for 1 year, and he got fired, and he did a great job the year he got fired. Jeter and Girardi have a great relationship. I'm not saying Girardi would leave, but that would be a negotiation for his agent to bump up his salary if he stays with the Yankees. I think the Yankees got to resign Girardi. I think he's done a great job there.
And another Yankee is now managing the Marlins in Don Mattingly. So that's an interesting triangle there.
That's true. Yeah, Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball. Thoughts about the Pirates right now?
Moving on to our next subject.
Are you disappointed?
Yeah.
Did you expect this?
Well, it's kind of seemed like at the beginning of the year, if everything went right, they could have a pretty decent year, but it's been totally the opposite. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. They don't have Jung Ho, Starling Marte, now Jamison Taillon with heartbreaking news.
Boy, that was devastating news.
And that guy, he's been their best pitcher. So now he's had...
Read his tweet, though. It almost brought tears to your eyes, his tweet. Wow.
Yeah. Said Tommy John... he's gotten hit in the head with a line drive. Yeah. Now he's got this. So, baseball secondary, of course, but it just seems like they're snake bitten this year. I think it was a gamble at the beginning of the year, breaking camp with only 3 outfielders. We're starting to see that. They had to bring up a lot of minor league talent. I think the rebuild is on, as much as I hate to say it. You don't know, maybe Andrew McCutchen is past his prime. We're starting to see that now. Who is their best player? It was David Freese. He's on a disabled list, so they just don't seem to have an identity. The relief pitching hasn't been very good. Daniel Hudson was their big offseason signing. He has about an 8.70 ERA. So I don't know. This could be a long, long year in Pittsburgh.
The person that's surprising me doing so well since he's been to Pittsburgh is Nova.
Yeah, he's all-star candidate for sure.
Wow, has he pitched well since he's been with the Pirates?
I saw that he has more complete games than walks since he's joined the Pirates. How odd of a statistic is that?
That's crazy. You're exactly right. He's done really well.
He's done well. Garrett Cole has done well.
Garrett Cole's a stud.
But they get no run support.
Yeah, Garrett Cole's a player.
2.45 ERA, and he's 1-3 or 2-3 or something like that. So it just seems like they think they should have made more moves in the offseason. They didn't do anything, and now it's kind of blowing up in their face.
I think the Cubs will win that division, like we said earlier on, but they're not going to be as good as last year. The Nationals, to me, right now, are the team.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Wow.
Nationals and the Dodgers, I think.
Ryan Zimmerman's come back from the dead for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Look at he's doing outstanding right now.
I remember. He was an incredible prospect when he came up. When he was younger, about 8 years ago, he was. But now he doesn't really have to be the go-to guy in that lineup, and he is their best. He's one of their best players. But
and Harper is one of the best in the game.
Right.
And Dusty Baker, I just like the way he manages his team. He lets the players play.
Hard-nosed guy. Yeah. It's interesting. I would wonder if it's difficult to manage a team with that many superstars, but he seems to be able to do the trick.
I think because he was one of the better players on the Dodger team that had good players, so he could probably handle that a little bit. I think he lets them do whatever they want as long as it doesn't affect the whole team. Then it does, he'll step in. Then you have the other New York team, which is in chaos right now, is the Mets. And how they're only 5 games out of first right now as we tape this is amazing to me. Matt Harvey has gone AWOL. He just got suspended by the club. And a couple of people have asked me why they suspend him, for missing a game. Well, number one, he missed the game. Didn't tell anybody. Now he's saying he had a migraine and he thought his agent was going to make the call.
While he was playing golf, he got the migraine,
He got the migraine while he was playing golf. And number two, they said this has happened in the past. So they said this is why we're suspending him. Plus, he's not throwing like he did either, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Syndergaard goes down.
Yeah, that's trouble there.
That's trouble. Cespedes is injured again.
Yep.
Darno, their catch is hurt again. Duda's hurt again. David Wright will probably never put the uniform on again.
That's a shame.
So that I think that's where you're going to see a big change in New York. Collins will be gone after this season.
And
it's not really his fault, but
no. 2 years ago, you would they were the best team in all of baseball. You could say, have to go to the World Series.
Well, they had pitching all over the place.
Yep.
Steve Matz hasn't come back yet.
DeGrom was awesome.
Wheeler's back, but he takes a couple of years after that surgery, so he's not doing well. And so the Mets are You know, they're going to have to decide what they want to do after the season because they have some players like Reyes who's old and
right.
You know, Cabrera, shortstop, who's old, so they're going to have to regroup. But that's why I'm really happy about what the Yankees have done. And you know what they said? The Yankees have so many good players in the minors yet.
They say, yeah, their system is stocked.
They said it's stocked, and they said, you know, people can't forget about that. One of the things, though, my relatives have told me that the Yankees are shying away now from going after Harper. Now that Judge is performing, they don't think they need a Harper.
It makes sense because Judge.
But they'd love to get a Machado now. That's who the Yankees are really targeting if they can get Machado if he doesn't sign with Baltimore.
And that would really ramp up that Boston Baltimore rivalry, wouldn't it?
How about Machado was Boston doesn't like him, so he fit right in with the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, what'd you think about that hit on Crosby? Should that player have been suspended?
I think the Ovechkin hit was almost as dirty as the Niskanen hit. Ovechkin's the one that smacked him in the head and made him go down, but I don't think that Sid has been the same since.
I agree.
You know, we're taping this on the eve of Game 7.
Yeah.
I don't have very high hopes for Game 7, but hopefully we will watch this weekend and we'll
Jim
be
and I were
wrong,
hoping for the Rangers against the Penguins, and I think it could be Ottawa against Washington.
It really could be.
Which would be one I won't be watching because I'll have no interest in that one then.
But, yeah, I mean, I think that injuries are starting to catch up to the Penguins. You can see that, you know, Daly was out, Letang is out, two of their two best defensemen.
So I think they've done well.
Yeah, I mean, all year they've dodged a bullet for sure.
And Fleury stepped up.
Yeah, I've said it all along. They should have kept him. It'll be interesting to see now what they'll do. You know, he could go on and win a cup this year, and they could still usher him out of town, which I think is a shame. But it's good to see him get his proper send-off, if you will.
And,
but it just seems, you know, the injuries are catching up to him. The age, not really age, but the length of the season, the fatigue. Yeah, it's hard to win a cup 2 years in a row. That's why it hasn't happened much. So.
And how about we want to talk locally here for a second? The young man who played. By the way, the Otters, as we tape this, are on the verge of winning that championship, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They were big underdogs going into the finals, and they're doing well. But the former Otter, who's playing for Edmonton, Connor McDavid, is the real deal.
He is, yeah. Well,
Isn't he?
Certainly, he's the heir apparent.
Wow.
That team's fun to watch. I've been watching a lot of that series.
And as we tape this, their series is going to the 7th game.
Yeah, I'm kind of a
Gretzky gets excited in the box.
You see him on the press box, yeah, yeah. And you know who the voice of the Edmonton Oilers is, don't you?
Jack Michaels from Meadville.
Yes, sir. So that's got to be a heck of a run for him.
Yeah, that is so true. And you know, hopefully someday we'll try to get him on if we can.
That would be.
I talked to some people that said maybe if he comes around here, they might try to let us know. And it might be one of these where we just do it, like we got a 5-hour notice or something. And we just do it. So you know. Jeff said that wouldn't be a problem, so that would be awesome to get him on.
That would be. You know, I'm kind of a night owl, so I like to stay up and watch those West Coast games, the Oilers and the Ducks.
What a great series.
It really is. It really is.
They can score those teams.
They can. You don't want to be a goalie in that series because I was saying the Ducks goalie, John Gibson, was incredible the last couple of years, but he's just getting shredded this series. So.
I know. So, yeah, hopefully good luck to Edmonton, since they have Connor McDavid and Jack Michaels as the play-by-play.
And what is going on with the Rangers?
Rangers, their defense has let them down. They should have wrapped up the Ottawa series. And, you have a 2-goal lead in 2 games with about 5 minutes left. You should win those games, especially when you have Henry the King behind you. And some reason it hasn't worked out, and they're starting to point fingers at each other. So, the Rangers might make it go to 7, but I'm not too, as we tape this, Game 6 is tonight. To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to watch it because I'm not happy with the way they've been playing. So,
and it's interesting that King Henrik seems to be very. He doesn't seem to be himself this year. Could age be catching up to him? I know he's 36 years old. I think
so.
It happens to everybody.
You talked about John Gibson.
Yeah,
from Pine Ridgeland area.
Yep, from the Pittsburgh area, seeing a lot of NHLers now. You have Gibson, Brandon Saad from the. He plays for the Blue Jackets. R.J. Umberger, everyone knows. So. And they credit that to the boom that Mario Lemieux caused when he came to Pittsburgh.
No doubt.
I know we did the Bulldogs playoff game, we talked about that a little bit earlier, at the Lemieux Complex in Pittsburgh, and to see that they have such a facility in the area like that.
You know, let's just not forget about that either. What a great year for the Bulldog hockey team. I know we had Jamie on earlier about his 1,000th win. They did so well in the playoffs. They got invited to a prestigious tournament at the end. It's good to see that. And I'll tell you what, hockey fans, the Meadville Bulldog hockey team will be good for the next few years. They have a lot of talent coming up yet.
They do.
And, you know, and Coach, that's why I think Coach Plunk is not in a rush to say goodbye yet.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of good talent coming.
He and to see the way that those guys respect him, too. You know, I was at the celebration right after he won the 1,000th game, and there, you know, not a person was sitting down. I mean, the way his players look at him, very reverent.
Yeah, they revere him.
Exactly
No
right.
doubt about that, and he should be, because he built this program from scratch and built it into a power. You know, like put Meadville on a map as far as hockey. Nobody knew what Meadville was, and actually, you know, besides Lemieux, he helped create the Pittsburgh outburst, because the Pittsburgh teams got tired of losing and letting Meadville win these championships all the time.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. You know, we can't let this Meadville team beat us. And you know, and not only has he influenced so many of his players, but I know that he's also had a big role in influencing a lot of the coaches down near Pittsburgh. You know, they pick his brain. He gives them advice.
He's a Canadian.
Yeah, he is a Canadian. It's in their DNA,
He's
right?
He's played since he could walk.
That's true. So, yeah, congratulations to Jamie, a good friend of mine, and a great guy.
Class guy, right?
You know, and
just a class guy.
He really is. And that really is just another feather in the cap for Meadville this year. Has there been a better athletic year, calendar year for Meadville?
No. And by the way, there's a change now up in Erie where there will be one high school, Vincent East and Central, are combining. So Central will be the location, and they will start their sports this fall. And their first game, the new school's first, I don't know if they're going to change the name or not. I heard they might not, or they might, and they might have different colors. They might not. Their first football game, Meadville will play them.
Wow.
At Veterans Stadium, the last Friday in August during Fair Week. So Meadville will open up against that big school. That might be I think it might be the time to play in this school, because they're still getting adjusted to
Yeah, you don't want to, exactly. To be in camp, probably, I can only imagine that a lot of the guys on the team might not like each other from some previous rivalries.
Yeah.
Only being in camp for 2 weeks before that, so I would imagine they're going to be 6A, right?
They're going to be 6A, and they'll be up there with McDowell now. So McDowell will at least have one team they can play besides going all the way through.
Traveling across the state.
And so Central will probably do that. The thing that I'm thinking about as far as basketball, I know Meadville had Vincent and East on their schedule next year because it's a 2-year cycle. Those games are gone. So all the teams that had them on their schedule now will have to scrap for all the games.
So that's probably going to reshuffle the whole district again too, right?
Well,
Meadville get thrown down.
They won't do that until after next year.
Okay.
It's a 2-year cycle, so I'm not sure what they're going to do as far as teams or so forth. So that is interesting right there.
We'll go back down there with Mercer County teams. It seems like every couple of years, play the Erie teams, play the Mercer teams, and on pretty much every sport. So
I got this little tidbit I got to share with everybody. Chuck Jones, assistant coach of Meadville, played for Meadville, was assistant coach, head coach, assistant coach. He's been on the bench for every basketball season except for two since 1976. Been on the bench for every year except for 2 since 1976.
40 years. That's
amazing.
That really is.
So, you know, it's one of the reasons why Coach McElhaney asked him to stay on, because of all the knowledge, and, you know, you just don't get that from anybody.
No, that's a huge thing to have. And just the stories that he can tell, I'm sure, the players that he's seen. He's been through it all, I'm sure. So that's got to help the team out a lot.
And he's the head coach of the cross-country team. He's also an assistant on the track team, so he kind of does a lot of things there at Meadville for many years. And we're going to give a shout-out to Coach Chuck Jones. And by the way, real quickly, I'm looking at the standings that Jeff gave me. Area baseball, Region 3, Cochranton, Maplewood, and Sagertown are the top 3 teams, which is good to see. So there'll be, and I guess everybody's in the playoffs, but there'll be the 3 teams that you have to keep an eye on. In Region 4 or 5, Slippery Rock, Hickory, and Meadville. Meadville's kind of been up and down this year in baseball.
And again, the weather can't help at all.
No.
It doesn't seem like they're getting any kind of rhythm. I know, talking to Coach Plunkett, actually, we're trying to set up a show with players. And
right.
He has a bunch of baseball players on his team, and he said, you know, they don't know their schedule from day to day. So it's just something you have to overcome.
Then you got softball, same thing. In a Region 1,
Yeah,
Commodore
exactly.
Perry and Lakeview battling out. Region 2, Union City, Cambridge Springs, Maplewood, Cochraton are all vying for playoff positions. So you have Region 5 here. You have Conneaut, Rose City, and Slippery Rock fighting it out for positions. And then, of course, big Region 7, McDowell, Ville Marie, and McLean. Boy, that's a tough region right there. McDowell, Ville Marie, and McLean, Meadville. But I think McDowell plays up, so Meadville won't have to see them in the playoffs. And Meadville has a decent chance to win in softball because I think the team, they get a bye all the way to the finals.
Okay.
And the team they will play is Vincent, who they beat pretty bad the first time, so they have a chance to win District 10 softball.
That's interesting. Looking at Region 3, you said Sagertown, Cambridge. I wonder how many of those girls were teammates this summer on their
right.
their national championship team.
And they will be another. Have a chance to have another run this year.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. It's such a fertile ground for softball.
Another show we're going to be doing quickly too is bowling. Don Grandi Jr. Off the 100, he has 100, 300 games in his career. Is that amazing?
That's fantastic.
100 of them.
I don't have 100, 100 games in my career.
I don't either. I couldn't get that if you put the things in the gutter. The bumper things.
The
bumper things. So, Jim Hunter, a good friend of ours who covers bowling for the Tribune, is putting that show together. He's going to get other male and female stars too. So we'll be bringing that show down the road also. So we have a lot of good shows coming up.
It's going to be exciting. Exciting spring, exciting summer.
Yeah, it will be. You guys have any plans up at the Hill? Anything new coming around?
I'm not sure yet. Actually, you're trying to get through the spring right now.
You did say that the football locker room.
They got a new locker room, new lockers. Better. They got kind of spaced out differently. They have a viewing room in there. Oh. They moved around some equipment rooms, so that's a pretty cool upgrade. I don't know. I'm not, it's above my pay grade, I guess, looking at those kind of improvements. But
Portia and Mandy back on down the road too to give us an update on what their future plans are as far as upgrades in the athletic department.
Yeah, I think we can do that, certainly.
Because I know one time they talked about maybe looking at an indoor facility up there.
I'm sure that's still on the burner. I also believe they're looking at
new press box. Jim and I are hoping for a new press box.
We are, but we are hoping that they have. The plans are there may be a new outdoor field as well, maybe 2 new fields, a grass and a turf field for lacrosse and for soccer. So that would be pretty cool. And it's just like the name of the game. We don't. It's an arms race even at Division III. You talk about your Clemsons and your Texas at the Division I level. Division III, you need to have the facilities. So, another upcoming show up at Edinburgh University.
Our friend Bruce
Baumgartner, my friend Bob Shreve, the sports information director.
We'll have to do a show with them too.
Certainly.
I know. I don't know. Did they have to get a new football coach? Or did their coach decide to stay? He did leave and went to Syracuse.
He went. So
they had to get
they have an interim coach now. I'm not sure if they have.
Which has got to be tough.
After 1 year, I mean, he was the national coach of the year. Yeah, I'm sure that's really thrown a wrench into things, especially with how late in the game it came. I don't think he announced it until the first week of April.
Right. He got the opportunity to go to Syracuse, I think, as running back coach.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great bump up. Don't get me wrong, but that really would throw the program into shambles like that because, it seems to me, from what I've seen, a lot of the football jobs open up, right after the season. You hear about them in December or January. Not April, signing day's done. You have your guys locked up.
That has been a constant pet peeve of mine. Again, the kids you recruited, you just leave.
Yeah.
The one from Meadville, Barrett Hoffman, was going there. He recruited Barrett, and boom, he's gone.
Is he?
So the coach is gone. I don't know. I think Barrett's still going to Edinburgh, but I think it's unfair for kids like that.
It is, and especially at the Division II level. At least Division III, it's more of a binding verbal thing. Right. Division II, it's you sign the verbal, you sign the letter of intent. You're bound. So, yeah, it's got to be a tough situation up there. You hope that he's laid enough of a foundation that they continue their success because I think they had the greatest turnaround in NCAA football history this year.
We'll definitely work on a show getting those two guys on too down the road here, maybe before the season starts too, sometime this summer. And as we go through the year, we'll try to get. The people up at the Allegheny on again too, Portia and Mandy.
Yes, Mandy.
Sorry, Mandy. But and that'll be good too. So, hoping for a different football outcome at Allegheny this year, big guy.
Yeah, I think we saw that they they turned a corner a little bit last year. I know they have 40 to 50 new recruits coming in this year. A new system with the coach has already been in place. I think that the arrow is pointed up.
They got the right man, I would think.
Yeah, I agree.
Got a lifting program this year, which they haven't had for a while.
Well, yeah, and he lifts more than anybody,
Wow.
so you see him in the weight room throwing some stuff around. It's quite a sight, let me tell you. He's got a couple new coaches on staff, but I think now, the program is set. The guys kind of know what to
Offense,
expect.
defense coordinator the same, or did they make adjustments?
I made adjustments there too.
Both of them?
Yeah, Coach Hammer is actually going to be the defensive coordinator this year.
Is he going to stay up top? He was in a box with us last year.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Maybe not, since he's the D coordinator. He might be on the field.
And offensive coordinator, they hired him in March. Braden Lair came from Denison University. Austin actually was at Austin P in Division I.
Yeah.
Then came to Allegheny for the offensive coordinator job.
So you think we'll run a different offense now?
I don't know. I know they're very excited with
Did
their.
they have spring football, or they don't have it now?
Yeah, they did. I didn't see a whole lot of it. It's very restrictive. Not a lot of contact.
Okay.
There's not really an official spring game or anything
Was there
like
a new
that.
coach there?
Yeah,
Okay,
all the
good.
coaches were there. Yes.
Good.
They're excited about their quarterback, Logan Lee, who really came
I
on
like
last
him.
year.
I like Logan Lee.
And I know they
lot.
might have a transfer coming in as well, a couple younger guys. So that's where it all
That young
stands.
man from Florida coming back?
Alex Victor, yes,
Man,
he
can
is.
he
He is
fly.
back. Yes. Fully how he had that unfortunate injury there in the last game of the year. But
Exactly.
he's back. I see
Good.
him scooting around campus. So the weather didn't scare him away.
Yeah, he was one that Vic and I were definitely hoping to come back, because he has potential to really be a game breaker.
Yep.
So that's a good thing. Anything else you want to discuss?
I think that's about it. Looks like Jeff's getting tired of taping us. our little freelander.
Again, the new studio they put together is out of sight.
This is
We still kept
fantastic.
our picture of the late great Gary Clark, who was an unbelievable person, and miss him all the time.
He's up there saying right now, I can't believe you guys have just talked for 55 minutes about
really,
absolutely nothing.
Well, we want to thank all the viewers for continually watching our program. I get a lot of comments from people in the area. Thank us for doing shows on local sports and local athletes, which Jim and I feel is important.
It is, yeah. It's exact. It's such a part of the community. Athletics, talk about all the success, and to be able to publicize what they do. I'm honored to be able to do this.
I got to share this quick story real quick, and then we'll go. Coach McElhaney, when they were at Altoona playing Northeastern, the referees came up and said, we'll have media timeouts, and the Northeastern coach goes, why media timeouts? Why media timeouts? And Coach McElhaney said, all our games are on radio, and a lot of our games are on TV. And he goes, what? We don't even have that. And he goes, well, we do. so I think that's impressive, again, for the local radio and for the Armstrong, for doing our games, too, which is unbelievable. A lot of kids don't experience that.
No, it's like I said, I talked to the parent from Cockerton. They'll be able to go back on YouTube and watch it whenever they want now.
That's a great thing, YouTube.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. For Jim Berger, this is Mike Fiorello. You've been watching Sports Close-Up on Armstrong.